Close your eyes for a moment. Imagine you are just 10 years old. Your hands are holding a book. Your heart is full of dreams. You're walking to school, excited, nervous, hopeful, but instead of encouragement, you are met with hate. People yelling at you, throwing things at you, telling you that school is not meant for you. What would you do? Would you stop? Would you turn back? This is not a story I read in a history book. This is the story of my mother. But it is also the story of thousands of children who carried the burden of racism on their tiny shoulders.
This story is based on true events and real-life struggles. However, for the purpose of storytelling, all characters, names, dialogues, and locations have been altered or fictionalized. Any resemblance to actual persons, living or deceased, or to specific places, organizations, or events is purely coincidental. This content is intended for awareness, education, and inspiration only, and does not aim to harm or misrepresent any individual or community.
She was born in a house that barely held together. Wooden boards creaked under every step. The roof leaked when it rained, and the winter cold slipped through cracks in the walls. Poverty wasn't a visitor there. It lived in every corner. But inside that little house, there was something stronger than poverty. A dream. A dream held by a 10-year-old black girl whose only wish was simple: to learn. Every morning she would place her old, torn books into a cloth bag. The covers bent, the pages faded, but to her they were treasures. Before she left, her grandmother would kneel down, hold her face gently, and whisper, "Baby, this road won't be easy. They will laugh at you. They will hate you. They will try to break you. But remember, education is your weapon. Nobody can take it away." Those words carved themselves into her heart. And with trembling steps, she opened the door and walked out into a world that had already decided she didn't belong. The dirt road to school was long. Her shoes were thin, her feet often sore, but she walked with determination. Then came the voices. Groups of white children waited along the way. They pointed, laughed, and threw stones. One rock struck her forehead. Blood trickled down. Tears burned her eyes. A voice screamed, "Go back where you belong." She stopped. For a moment she wanted to turn back, to run home, to hide in her mother's arms. But her grandmother's voice echoed inside. "Education is your weapon." So she lifted her head, wiped the blood with her small hand, and took another step. And then another. Each step was heavy, but each step was a victory. At the school gate, the storm was louder. Parents shouted, their faces twisted with rage. Police stood stiff, as if guarding a battlefield. A grown man screamed, "We will never let our children sit with hers." She was just 10 years old. Her tiny hands shook, but she kept walking. Right through that wall of hate, into a classroom where silence cut just as deep. The teacher didn't welcome her. She pointed to a desk at the back. "Sit there. Don't ask questions. Don't speak." Children slid their chairs away, creating an island of emptiness around her. She sat alone, humiliated, wounded. But her hand never left her book. Days turned into months, months into years. Every morning she walked through the same storm. Rocks, spit, insults. Every afternoon she sat alone in that classroom. Her books were torn, her desk smeared, A boy shouted at her, "Your place is in the kitchen, not in this school." At night, when the lights were out, her strength broke. She whispered to her mother, "Mama, I'm so tired. I can't do this anymore." Her grandmother's voice was firm. "Baby, that's exactly what they want. They want you to quit. But if you keep going, one day your victory will be their defeat." So she kept walking, day after day, step after painful step. Years later, she stood on a stage in a cap and gown. Her name was called. She walked forward, received her diploma, and the room filled with applause, some proud, some reluctant. In the audience, her grandmother cried. Tears streamed down her face as she whispered, "Baby, today you fought a battle I never could." That diploma felt like freedom. She believed her fight was over, but the world had new battles waiting. She walked into offices, resume in hand, voice steady, heart hopeful. Again and again she was told, "The position has already been filled. We'll call you." The phone never rang. Behind closed doors, she overheard the truth. "She's smart, but I don't think our clients would be comfortable with her." It broke her heart. All those years, all that blood, all those tears, and still the gates were locked. She was forced to take jobs far beneath her degree. Cleaning offices, filing papers, serving coffee to men half as qualified but 10 times more accepted. Each night she cried quietly, exhausted from rejection. Each morning she rose again, dressed with dignity, and tried once more. It took years before one company finally gave her a chance. On her first day, she sat at her desk and whispered to herself, "They tried to break me at the school gate. They tried to silence me at the interview desk, but I am still here." Time moved forward. She built a career slowly, painfully. She raised children with the same fierce determination her grandmother gave her. She told them, "I took every stone they threw at me and built a path for you. Don't you dare waste it." Her children entered schools with doors open wider than hers had ever been. They sat in classrooms where their desks weren't pushed away. But she reminded them, "Don't think the fight is over. Racism doesn't always scream. Sometimes it whispers. Sometimes it hides in silence. You must stay awake. You must keep walking." She carried the scars of her journey, scars no diploma could erase. But she also carried victories. Every test she passed, every job she earned, every step her children took into a future she once thought impossible. Her story is more than survival. It is defiance. It is hope carved out of pain. It is the truth that hate can wound, but it cannot win. And her story is America's story. A story of closed doors and forced open gates. A story of humiliation that turned into resilience. A story of a little black girl who faced mobs, stones, rejection, and silence, and still refused to bow her head. Because she believed in something greater than hate. She believed in love, in education, in a future not yet born. And today, as her story is told, it is no longer just hers. It belongs to every child who dares to dream, every family who refuses to give up, every heart in this room that chooses courage over fear, love over hate, and hope over despair.